Good evening. This is your election headquarters. Join News on Multi TV, and you're welcome to another edition of Constituency Watch. Well, as the time draws closer for Friday's polls, so are we also drawing closer to the end of our show. Well, we've taken you to several constituencies across the country since the show started in October. And as well as we get ready to draw the curtains on the show, well, we've also decided to put the spotlight on our very own constituency. By that, I mean the constituency within which Multi TV operates, and that is the Ayawaso Central constituency. It is one constituency here in the Greater Accra region that has never fallen to the National Democratic Congress. We'll get into details about that in a bit, but as always, your comments are welcome on 0544 334 722. That's our WhatsApp number, or at Join News on TV, which is our Twitter handle, or at NeSmart, which is my Twitter handle. And you can also drop us a line on facebook.com/Join News. Constituency Watch is brought to you by Star. You're welcome back to Constituency Watch, brought to you by Star Ghana here on Joy News, your election headquarters. Now, as we get ready for Friday's polls, you may have registered as a voter, but if your age is below 18 years, please do not vote, because underage voting is illegal and you can be arrested and prosecuted. Parents, please stop your children from voting if they are below 18. Any person under 18 years who votes may be arrested and prosecuted. This message is an initiative of the Editors Forum Ghana in collaboration with the National Commission for Civic Education, the Electoral Commission of Ghana, and the Multimedia Group, operators of Multi TV. Now, as I indicated earlier, the NDC has never won the Ayawaso Central seat. It has been monopolized, if you like, by the NPP as the NPP's Sheikh Ibrahim Kujokwe since 1996. But that is not to suggest that the race in that constituency has not been keenly contested. Well, let's see how the constituents have been voting over the past 5 elections. The constituency's first MP in the Fourth Republic was Sheikh M.F. Nasiru Nazubia of the NCP. He polled 10,717 votes. In 1996, another Sheikh, Ibrahim Kujokwe, won the seat on the ticket of the NPP. He polled 27,794, or 34.60%, to beat off competition from 4 other contenders, including Said Scenario of the NDC, who polled 27,119, or 33.80%, and the editor of the Inside newspaper, Kwesi Pratt, who managed 5,621, or 7%. In 2000, Sheikh I.C. Quay got re-elected with 30,052 votes, representing 56.60%, defeating the NDC's Isaka Amonkote, who polled 19,812, or 37.30%. The Sheikh returned to Parliament after winning the 2004 polls with 36,021 votes, or 53.4%, whilst Mariama Sinari of the NDC came a close second with 29,360, representing 43.6%. Now, the 2008 polls really increased tensions in that constituency, as the results had to be collated about 3 times, after which Sheikh I.C. Quay was finally declared victor with 30,917 votes, representing 49.1%, whilst the NDC's Kwesi Ofe Ajiman polled 30,058 votes, or 47.7%. But the presidential race has equally been interesting. In 1996, former President Rawlings managed 29,554, or 47.1%, whilst the NPP's John Kufuor polled 31,570, or 50.3%. In 2000, former President Kufuor maintained his lead with 30,119, or 57%, whilst the NDC's John Mills had 20,859, or 39.50%. That was in the first round polls. In the round-off polls, John Kufuor again led with 32,606, or 63.60%, with John Mills securing 18,656 votes, representing 36.40%. The order did not change in 2004. J.A. Kufuor was still in the lead with 36,436 votes, or 57%, whilst John Mills closed the gap a bit, polling 25,710 or 40.2%. The NPP's Nana Akufo-Addo in the first round of polling in 2008 secured 32,021 votes or 50.40%, whilst John Mills inched closer, polling 30,588 or 48.20%. But the round of polls saw the NDC's John Mills winning with 33,279 or 50.04%, 48 votes more than Nana Addo's 33,231 or 49.96%. Okay, so those were the results from the Ayawaso Central Constituency. But just a quick correction, when it's 1992, it's actually side scenario of the NDC who actually emerged winner of the constituency. And well, the controversy surrounding the 2008 polls traveled far as we're told it went even to court because the NDC's candidate alleged some electoral malpractices and wanted the issue rectified. But let's fast forward to 2012 now, and there are fresh faces on the ballot, at least for the two main party. Henry Quartey is the NPP's candidate, and Afumani Ejay is the NDC's candidate. He has the name Obama attached to his name on the posters. Well, they are here with me in the studio. Good evening, gentlemen, and thanks for joining me.
Good evening.
Welcome to Constituency Watch. And we'll also get some analysis from Peter Ankoma of the Daily Dispatch. But first of all, I'm just a bit curious. The Obama, where did it come from?
It was during the 2008 when they started calling me Obama. I inquired why they were calling me Obama. I thought they were calling me Obama because of the US president, but they said no. They said no. So you realize that on the poster, it's written Obama 1. They said, like the guy would say, Obama, you are coming to build.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just like William Afumani Ejay coming to build the broken walls in Ayawaso Central. So the Obama there is, let me say, deduced from the Ghana. Where is Obama? Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting to know. Henry, do you have a nickname? Because I haven't seen one on your poster yet.
Well, it's a gentle giant.
Okay. Well, why didn't you add it to your poster?
It is on it.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I'll look at it closely when I close from work tonight. But we'll look at some of the issues that are trending in your constituency. I believe at this point we can get some. We spoke to some voters actually in the Ayawaso Central constituency earlier today. Let's just listen to what they had to say, and then we'll come back to the studio, and then we can start the discussion from there. So here are some voters' take on developments in the Ayawaso Central constituency.
The problem we're facing here, our drainage system, mosquitoes, because of the gutter is choked. We're having like that. Look at the gutter. Everybody, and then the road too, look at it. Then whenever it rains for here, you can't pass here.
Me crowd how many abatu no aye betu abatu abro ame bram honam de mi kokromoti akotim na me ye line na wi e hye me eduru ho no ne ye to wi ade obakwa akotena so no yenye bibia biem ne ye ho akire yen yenye sika nya dwuma bra ne ye bro babro am sore na ma nante a me ne di me nya hwe me de ye se ya ne me gira ha no me sa ba na ye beto ne ye bu obi a obedi wa ma no ame yenye bibia di ame ye ho atoyen
ye gota no nsuo no entimi nko say omunhwe na omunbeye ye gota ne ye we de anya politics asem na meka ye de ye nim nti ye gota ne ha ye niam bebre ha ye wo area ha say omunhwe na mumboa ye.
We don't have street light in this area, and the one at the other side too, we don't have it. It was just about some months ago that they came to replace these two ones, and we don't have street, and this road too. Normally, when it's get to an election time, that is where you see them doing it. They will be tired of the road, they won't do anything. They just grade it and then put water on top of it and then finish. They will leave it till another 4 years when it's getting to an election time. That is where you see them doing something for us to see something is going on. Because of the street light is not there, tomorrow you will see somebody's house, there is an armed robbery in that area. Just 3 months ago, we caught somebody in a house because there is no street lights. And so the person was easily entering to the house and he's doing his own thing. If not to be somebody who came and intervened, the person will be killed in this area.
The challenges that we face in this area is about light problems. Often the light off is very bad to our life and in our situation in this place. And then moreover also, we have a problem about this, our street. So many years now, we cannot see anything about the street. And then we are pleading to the government so that he can do something better about us in this, so that we will be off from this dust that being polluting our eyes and everything, our health.
Okay, so those were some voters in the Ayawaso Central Constituency articulating some concerns that disturb them. Let me start with you, Mr. Obama. One, okay. Issues about street lights not being there, leading to armed robbery attacks. The streets, some not tarred, polluting the environment. I believe these are not exactly new to you.
No, but let me start by saying good evening to your cherished viewers. Yeah, these things are not new to me. So when it comes to street lights, yes, I think it is the work of the AMA. And when it comes to our constituency, I think recently we've been able to improve upon it as compared to some years back. Okay. When it comes to the road net, it's very bad. Very, very, very bad. When it comes to the trains, especially when you get to some a place like Pig Farm, coming to Ayidiki, I think Alajo is a little bit better. I mean, it's very, very, very bad. Very,
because I remember
very bad.
Years ago, Alajo was almost like a death trap until this the new drain, the main drain was reconstructed.
Yeah. And I always give the credit to President Kufuor that with that one, yes, to me, he did very well. He did very well to salvage that challenge that we're going through. But when it comes to the drains in Ayawaso Central, very, very bad, very, very terrible.
So do you have any plans up your sleeves to work on the drains, for instance?
Oh, yes. You know, the primary function of an MP is to help legislate good laws, yes. But apart from that, we have a secondary function. And even before we had our primaries, I took it up on myself. I knew by then I was going to win the primaries and definitely contest on the ticket of the NDC. So I was able to get some team. They went round. They came with a very good report. I also didn't wait till become even a PC or even to become an MP. I had to go to the AMA. There is one Abbas, the engineer for the Accra Main Roads, and there were so many issues I raised with him. And probably because my party is also in government, I was able to lobby, and I think they've started doing some in my constituency. Actually, I didn't do that because I'm just NDC. As any ordinary citizen, you can just go and lobby without your own resources. At least sometimes they will listen to your plight, and they've started doing something about them.
Okay. Henry, the issues raised by the voters, they are stuff you're familiar with, I believe.
Well, I just want to know where he actually went to conduct these interviews, because it appears that if not all, then some of them does not actually show a true reflection of what is happening in Ayawaso Central.
How so? Because it was the people themselves telling us the problems that they think they face in their community.
Because you see, years back, before the tenure of NPP, everybody knows that when you go to Ayawaso Central, I mean, just as you stated earlier, the situation there, it's unbearable when it rains. Now, comparing the 23 years of the NDC, PNDC era to the 10 years of MPP, I want to say and believe that MPP has done a lot of developments in Ayawaso Central, i.e. the drains, as you said, and the street lights, as they said. Honorable Shekai Sikwe made sure that every street had lights on them.
So then the ones they are complaining about, is it that the street lights are not functioning anymore?
That is the thing. I was expecting to hear that. That yes, of course, there are street lights, but most of them are not functioning. How long have they not been functioning is the question here. Because we have been out of power for 4 years, and like he rightly said, it is the responsibility of AMA through the assembly members to ensure that from time to time we go around and check these 40 street lights and then get them repaired. And so if these things are not being done, then I see no reason why the blame should come to us as MPP. I'm glad that he thanked President Kufuor for a good work done. Big Farm, yes, most of the work was done from Alajo, okay, through Ayidiki and all that. And if you go there, prior to that, there wasn't any gutters or drains at all. There weren't. But today there are. Most of the roads have been done. What is needed to be done now is to tar them, which of course we pray that inshallah, when the NPP comes back into power, we initiated them. We'll continue from where we left.
Okay, so let me find out from you, what are the particular problems, development-wise, that you have seen in Ayawaso Central Constituency that you want to address should you become their MP?
Oh, well, I would say that we will continue from where we left, because unfortunately, we have been out of power for 4 years. One would have thought that the NDC, obviously, they are in charge of the sub-metro now. They have access to the AMA, like he rightly said. So, of course, one should not necessarily be a member of parliament before going to lobby for these things to be done. So the question here is, what has the NDC done in Ayawaso Central? My
question is, what would you do when, should you be the MP for Ayawaso Central?
Like I said earlier, I will continue from where we left off. That means we did the gutters.
Where
MPP left off.
When you were in power, or where ICQ will be leaving off as
when we were in power.
MP?
When we were in power, yes. When we're in power, because we've done all the streets, we've done them. What is left is to be tarred and the gutters, and everybody can attest to that fact. Sometimes, you see, it's rather interesting that things are done in the constituency by sub-metro without even informing the member of parliament, you see.
Okay, so sorry if I refer to you often as Mr. Obama, but Mr. Fum, let me ask you a similar question. What are the main challenges that you have identified in the constituency that you would want to do something about should you become the MP?
One, sanitation.
Okay.
Two, when it comes to the youth, we talk about unemployment. Not necessarily creating employment for them directly, but at least empowering them.
How?
Creating avenues for them, opportunities.
Okay.
Then three, we look at empowering the women. And even four, the infrastructure development. There is something too missing in the constituency. That is the relationship between the MP and the people in the constituency. Okay. So there is something I've been calling, or I've been saying, or I've termed it to be bringing parliament to the people. So that if by God's grace I become a member of parliament in Ayawaso Central, I will ensure that I'll be closer to the constituents. And when I say I'll be closer to them, when parliament is on recess, I'll find time, try to explain government policies to them, and new laws that have been legislated. I'll try to explain these things to them. I'll also get closer to them so that I can take their concerns.
Okay. All right. Now let's talk a bit about, of course, we can't have parliamentary aspirants without talking a bit about the trend of voting in the constituency over the past. There was an interesting question I saw online a little while ago whilst preparing to come on set. And the person was asking, can NPP win Ayawaso Central without IC Quay? Yeah, to you.
By the grace of God, yes. By the grace of God, yes. Because Isikwe, as a person, as a legend as he is, has served Ghana to the best of my knowledge and his ability, and also done a lot of work in Ayawaso Central through policies that the MPP introduced.
Okay.
Based on that, we have a trust in the people. The people trust in MPP. Now, before I continue, let me go back to something. Let me react to something he said earlier, that there's no relationship between the MP and the people.
He said he was going to work on the relationship between the MP and the people.
There wasn't a relationship between the MP and the people. Sheikh Isikwe is known as people. You know why? Because he's always there. What he normally says is that he's a grassroots person, so they call him people. He's always around. He doesn't have to wait for Parliament to go on recess before coming to see the people. Isikwe is in the constituency every day, every second, every minute. So let me move forward. We have done a lot of work in Ayawaso Central, and the people themselves have seen it. They believe in it, and so because of that, by the grace of God, Isikwe is leaving, but the people will not vote NDC because Isikwe is leaving. They will vote NPP because they have always believed in the policies and programs of NPP, and that is why I'm very confident that inshallah, the NPP will retain the seat, and this time will retire my good friend to go back and probably start from the assembly level.
Okay, Mr. Fum, the results over the past have truly been in favor of the NPP. That, I'm sure that's what prompted person to ask that very interesting question. Can the NPP win Ayawaso Central without Isikwe? Do you think you can win the Ayawaso Central seat? Would you be able to snatch it for the NDC?
Mark it on the wall. I'm winning the seat. You mark it on the wall. Listen to me carefully, and I mean note some of the ways and the way I choose my ways. You see, he was saying that Isikwe is the people's man. See, the unfortunate thing is that he wasn't with us in our constituency. He just joined us about a year ago or so. So there are so many. Yes. So there are so many things that he wouldn't know. So when he says, I said I will improve upon it and make sure that I will have that cordial relationship with the people. I live in a constituency, and what I'm saying is that when Parliament is on recess, I will come and explain policies to them. That doesn't mean that they wouldn't be seeing me. Definitely, as a politician, you'll be attending some social gatherings, and there are so many people who come to you. So when we are talking about these issues, I think because he just joined it, there are some issues that we didn't know. If he was talking about the road network and things that Isikwe has done, so sometimes I ask myself, for instance, come to the roads. How many roads were constructed during Isikwe's period? How many school buildings were constructed during Isikwe's period? Even come to public facilities, like even the public toilets. How many were constructed during Isikwe periods? I just don't want to get to that level. But even
all those issues aside, he has repeatedly won since 1996. So then
the person might have posed a question because 2008 election, there are so many people who doubt whether Isikwe genuinely won the election. That might be the reason why the person posed that question. Now, let's look at the results from 2000. Exactly. Let's look at the results.
So that's what I'm
Let's look at the rate at which the results.
In 2000, Sheikh Isikwe polled 30,052.
Let's look at the margins. It will help us right
NDC's Amonkotai had 19,812.
So what was the difference? More than 10,000.
Then, yes. Then in 2004, Sheikh Isikwe had 36,021. Then Mariam Asinari had 29,360.
So from 10,000 to 5,000.
Then in 2008, it was much closer, 30,915 for Sheikh and 30,058.
So from 5,000 to 846 or so.
Yeah.
So that might have...
Dr. Fatima.
Yes. So that might be the main reason why the person posed that question. Because there is that notion. I wouldn't fuel it. And really, I don't know much about it. But to some of them, Isikwe rigs the election. So that might also be one of the reasons why, or the main reason why that person posed the question, unless the person was able to answer his own question.
So how does the poll look like, if I can put it that way, this time around, at least, because you two, like it or not, will be the first.
It only tells you that if you are critically studying the trend, it tells you that the NPP is losing its popularity.
Okay.
So that if a whole ICQ could even be dropping from 10,000 to 5,000 and to 800, if a whole ICQ, then what about the students of ICQ? Okay,
so Henry, some would say that yes, of course, like you rightly said, ICQ is the people, is people. If that's how you said is referred to as his people. But then in this case, in this particular race, ICQ is no longer in the picture. It is Henry Quartey who is in the picture. Would you be able to work the same magic as ICQ? Because like you rightly, the results have been shrinking. The gap between the MPP and the NDC have been shrinking over the years until the last elections.
Two things. I'll react before I answer
briefly,
the question.
Because we're running out of time.
You see, for him to say, he always keeps saying this, that I have not been in the constituency. Asked in 2008, he was the campaign manager for Dr. Ofe-Agyemang, and I was in charge of the campaign for Honorable Sheikh ICQ. I was with him at the Coalition Center. At 3:15 a.m., he shook my hands, and these were his words. Oh, these were his words. Now, if he was a campaign manager for ICQ, where was he when we were rigging? What does he mean by rigging?
Well, he said it's a popular notion that people
he said the
ICQ rigged.
Yes. Yeah. Now, they went to court. What is their proof? That's that aside.
Okay.
Now,
let me help you a little.
No, I'm not finished.
I wasn't the campaign manager.
You were not.
But you were at the Coalition Center.
Okay. I wasn't.
So
now he's saying I was at the Coalition Center.
But were you at the Coalition Center?
Yes, to observe the process.
No, you did not observe.
So
you
quickly,
represented NDC, please.
So we'll have to wrap up.
Don't let us miss.
So can you pull the magic?
The viewers.
Can you pull the magic?
Oh, absolutely. You see, ever since I took over, okay, the Constituency executives, the front of the MPP has been very, very united than ever. Unlike him, at the moment, his front is divided. There's a court case against him at the moment because he organized his own NDC to beat people at Kotobabi toilet, which has been taken to court. You can go and check.
Quickly, how true is that? Is that a court case against you?
It's strange because I can't even do that.
Okay.
And there's no issue. Which of the courts? Just help me.
Well, I'll leave
no,
it to you.
No. Which of the
if you can furnish us, we'll be interested to know which court that is.
I'm not interested. Let me answer your question, okay? I want to let him know. I don't know. But in 2008, they did a lot of things. The NDC did a lot of things, and rather, okay, send propaganda, please. Let me land. Rather put propaganda out there that ICQ reach. You see, the registration this time is reduced from 94,000 to 96,000 to 84,000. Because this time around, we managed to check them. And so this issue of double registration, going to register here, vote in Nima, and vote in Ayawaso Central, is gone. So I want to let him know. Maybe he might as well throw in the towel now and say, goodbye, Henry, thank you very much. Because believe you me, he's going to lose and lose woefully.
Okay, we have 2 minutes to wrap up so that we can get Peter also to join us on the set. I'd want to find out, in 2008, the constituency was really hot because of this issue about rigging or otherwise. But flash points have started emerging already before we even go to the polls on Friday. We are hoping that Ayawaso Central will not be a flashpoint.
Oh, by God's grace, it wouldn't.
So
we'll manage the situations.
How are you doing it already, or it is something?
We are really managing the situation because just as he said, he has said about 2 or 3 things which are not correct, but you can see how I answered them. I think with this tolerance, we'll be able to manage them, and the constituency will be very, very peaceful. Very, very peaceful.
Henry, are you how have you been managing, or how are you ensuring that
the NPP
Fridays
led by Nana Danko Akufo-Addo has said this, and I'll repeat this. We will abide by all the rules and regulations governing the game. And I want to assure viewers and listeners that NPP would not be the first to do anything. We'll go out there, we'll talk to our sympathizers, our supporters to go cast their vote, come home quietly, and wait for the results. But inshallah, you will be the first to come and raise my hand and say, Amen.
He says you'll be throwing in the towel.
Babi, listen carefully. He said something. He said before he took over, the MPP in Ayawaso Central was not united.
I did not say before.
He said the MPP is more united than his watch.
Okay, so it means he's doing better than ICQ, isn't it?
Well, that's what you
to
that's how you
But quickly before we
it.
go, he says you will throw in the towel.
Oh yes, you start from assembly level. You know, that's why I want to go and start.
Let's wait till Friday.
Okay,
but read my lips. There is no way I'm going to lose this election. Okay, so that's it. Afumanim Ejay says there's no way he's losing the Ayawaso Central seat. Henry Quarty says Afumanim Ejay will actually throw in the towel. Friday is just 2 days away. Our eyes will still be on the Ayawaso Central seat, and then we'll get to see how the results pan out in that particular constituency. But we're taking a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get some analysis from Peter Ankuma of the Daily Dispatch, and then we'll wrap up our show. Welcome back. This is still Constituency Watch, and joining me on set now is Peter Ankuma of the Daily Dispatch. Peter, quickly, you had the two aspirants, and the race has always been between the NDC and the MPP. The margins have been close and narrowing in since 1990, since 2000 down to 2008. You have done some work in the constituency. Sure. What are your findings?
It looks likely that the MPP and Mr. Henry Quarty has an edge over the NDC candidate in the constituency, because it's actually a constituency that, apart from 1992, the MPP has been winning. And a careful analysis of the constituency shows that over the years, Mr. ICQ's popularity has been reducing. When you check the vote that he's been getting and you compare that to that of the MPP as a party, you will see that the party and their presidential candidate has been doing well than ICQ in the constituency. And quite clearly also, it's a constituency that personality also counts. When you check the performance of the Scenario family in the constituency, quite clearly also shows that they are quite popular. And if Madame Scenario had won the NDC primary, you know, NDC, they witnessed quite intense primaries in 2008. Madame Scenario lost to Dr. Ofer by just 1 vote. And so that quite of also affected the party's chances in 2008. We believe that if Madame Scenario had won in that primaries, the NDC would have won the seat in 2008.
Oh, okay.
But you see, in 1996, the MPP had an alliance with the CPP. And you know, because of that great alliance, where former President Ankara became the running mate to former President Kufuor. And so they fielded, you know, one candidate in some of the constituencies. But here there was a problem where the CPP fielded a candidate, senior colleague, Kwesi Pratt contested, and ICQ also contested on the ticket of the MPP. That sort of brought some division within the constituency between the CPP and MPP. And of course, when you check the electoral result, you see that ICQ won by just quite a small margin of victory.
But quickly, you spoke about personalities, about ICQ's personality and about the Scenario's personality as well. This time around, it's not ICQ, it's not a Scenario, it's a Henry Quarty and an Obama one. Will personality still drive the race in this particular constituency?
Very well. But what is also going to play a key role is the fact that the message and the unity within the ranks of the parties. And it's going to be one of the very keenly contested seats within the Greater Accra region. You know, there are about 27 seats that were won by less than 1,000 votes. And that's, though in those seats, it looks likely that it's going to change hands. So, being a constituency that was won by less than 1,000 votes, NDC is quite doing well in the constituency now. MPP has changed their candidate, which is quite good for them, though. It puts the two parties in a much more very close. So we have put it as one of the very close constituencies. But when you check the electoral history and the happenings now, you will find out that the MPP and Mr. Henry Quartey has an edge.
So will it be as close as we saw between Isikwe and Dr. Faye Ajiman?
No.
Or at least more like between Isikwe and
Madam Sinari, yes, in 2004.
Okay.
But in such close constituencies, what happens is that the slightest slip by the last 2 days, that is tomorrow and Thursday, and the loss of focus and lack of vigilance could cause the parties in the last days.
Okay, and are we likely to see tempers rise again in that constituency, same as it went in 2008?
No. You see, and you know, in 2008, it was because of the personalities involved. You know, quite clearly, ICQ's popularity had been reducing. When you check, for instance, in 2000 elections, you know, as for 1996, because of the Gate Alliance, you cannot see the strength of the parties well. But it's a constituency that almost all the political parties can boast of some base, especially the MPP and NDC. Okay. In 2000, Mr. ICQ won the constituency with a margin of victory of 10,240. He was much more even popular than the party, because in the presidential elections, the MPP won the constituency with a margin of victory of 9,260. By 2004, ICQ, or Sheikh ICQ, won the constituency with a margin of victory of 6,661. Quite a drop of vote, about 4,000. Whereas in the presidential, the party did well by winning 10,000, with a margin of victory of 10,726. By 2008, Mr. ICQ's popularity had also reduced again, where he won by just 857. You see, and remember the several times that they had to recollate the results in this constituency. That created a lot of rumors as to the constituency being rigged. Or, you know, initially they said ICQ had lost the constituency. Then they came back and said he had won. In that same constituency, the party MPP won with a margin of victory of 1,433. You see, so it's good that the MPP changed their candidate, because he's a new person. You can say, oh, he's coming with new ideas, and that is what is also helping the party in the constituency. Obama is also doing well, quite well, though. But in terms of the base, political base or core supporters, there are more MPP supporters in this constituency than the NDC. Okay. What is left, I mean, the kingmakers, is where the two always do go to battle for. And in those cases, you know, they vote on issues and personalities. Somebody who can best represent them in parliament, somebody who is known within the constituency. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Peter. But before we go, quick messages that you've sent us on Facebook. Saivan says MPP will win the election again, no room for NDC. Amina Malik Atanda says he shall allow JM will win. Okay, we are talking about constituencies here, but you think okay, Saivan, you want the Henry Quartey to add you on Facebook. I don't know if he's on Facebook. I should have asked him that earlier. But okay, well, he's gone. So probably, I'm sure he's still watching. If he's on Facebook, I'm sure he'll look for you and he'll add you to it. Okay. Abdullah Muhammad Awal says, Smart, we all know the circumstance surrounding the electoral victory of ICQ in the 2008 polls. Okay, so that is what you are saying. Let's check what those of you on WhatsApp have also been saying. Nana Beidu, the second interpreter, says, although I'm NPP, but the NDC candidate is good and I must commend him, but tell my candidate, Mr. Quartey, to be smart a little. I pray he wins the Ayawaso Central seat again for the NPP. Okay. Maputo says, Smart, please tell Mr. Quartey that ICQ Isaac's vote rigging days are over, and there's no way they can win. Obama will win by 70%. Okay, you are predicting 70% for Mr. Efum. Evening to you and your panelists. Good evening. History is going to be made. NPP is going to give way to the NDC this time. NDC the BKK. That's Emmanuel from Yendi. Ayawaso Central has always been a seat for the NPP, and so shall it continue to be coming Friday. The NDC man should forget about the seat since he's going to lose. That's from James Amuzu. And good evening. I'm of the strongest conviction that next week by now, Henry Quartey and Nanado will be crowned as Member of Parliament and President of the Republic, respectively. Thank you very much for your messages. A big thank you to Henry Quartey, the NPP's parliamentary candidate for the Ayawaso Central Constituency, as well as Efum Eni Eje, the NDC's parliamentary candidate for the Ayawaso Central Constituency. And they were in the studio with me earlier, and Peter Ankoma is with the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Thank you very much, Peter, for joining us. He helped us do some quick analysis before we jump off the set. But that's our show for tonight. My name is Nia Krofi Smatabe. Thanks a lot. Nightly news comes up in a bit. Stay tuned.